that the complaint relates to actions that are responsibility of the other parties, meaning the National India Authority or the contractor. So they're washing their hands.
From Kiratpur to Nerchok and from Nerchok to Manali has been the cause for a lot of concern among local communities. Mr. Madan Lal is one of the affected members, who is an ex-serviceman who has fought valiantly in Sri Lanka's peacekeeping force. He fought very valiantly in the Kargil war, and his family has been displaced from the earlier Bakra Dam. And when he comes back home, he finds that the existing house is also under threat. And when he has taken up this issue, we have come to realize that the NH21 is like a periodic table of all violations, all kinds of violations that can be done.
NGO forum on ADB on our latest complaint against ADB funded project, infrastructure funded project in Himachal Pradesh, India. It's about the $400 million loans to the 4-laning. It's an express highway from Kiratpur to Nerchok Expressway in Himachal, India. The loan was approved through the India Infrastructure Finance Company Limited and in 2013. In the document, it indicated that the loan agreement in respect is due to close on 31st of December 2016. Eventually, on January 25th, 2017, the loan was closed. This is an important date because we will come back to this later on. As we organize the workers in this infrastructure project, we have, as usual, encountered a pattern of abuses and violation of basic national laws of the state of Himachal Pradesh, and also as regards ILO international conventions, like non-payment of wages, absence of employment contracts, lack of social security coverage. Considering that Indian women construction workers were employed in the project, there's a lack of specific facilities for them. Overtime work are not paid, and they're even forced to work over the weekend. Unfortunately, on the 22nd of June 2018, the project closed. The project gone bankrupt. The National Highway Authority of India has to take into account, because of its failure to pay more than 450 million Indian rupees to the main contractors.
स्थानीय विभाग NHAI या कोई भी जो जिम्मेवार आदमी था, वो इनको बताता कि भाई ऐसी परेशानी आने से आपको ऐसा ऐसा करना है, स्टेप बाय इनको बताता, तो शायद ये लोगों का पैसा ना डूबता। अब करोड़ों रुपए के जो डंपर टिप्पर डाले हुए हैं, लोगों को तो घर बिक गए। तो ये सारी एक समस्या नहीं है कि हम एक समस्या की वजह इतने बड़े प्रोजेक्ट हमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं, एक समस्या हो तब तो हम उसको मान लेते हैं, उसको हम स्वीकार भी कर लेते हैं।
Today we have a situation where all along the road we find that material is dumped in unauthorized places. People's land which was not to be acquired has been acquired. Those people whose land was not acquired have been compensated. The Bakra Nangal reservoir is being flooded with more and more silt, which will eventually affect the power production in the Bakra reservoir.
What happened? The workers that are employed eventually suffered. At least in the case that we filed to ADB, there are 116 workers claiming for 17 million Indian rupees. 17 million Indian rupees unpaid wages, overtime pay in this project. And together with NGO forum on ADB, we filed a complaint. And again, unfortunately, ADB dismissed our complaint on the grounds on the technical grounds, but not on the merit of the case. They argued that the complaint was submitted to CRP more than 2 years after the loan was closed. That was 2017. The complaint, they say, is an action that is not related to ADB's action or omission in the course of formulating, processing, and implementing ADB-assisted project. And finally, they argued that the complaint relates to actions that are responsibility of the other parties, meaning the National India Authority or the contractor. So they're washing their hands, right? If they are to argue that the project closed in 2017, so we cannot make any claim or on their accountability, it's falsely argued. This is because in 2017, 3 laborers were trapped for 9 days. They were inside, there was a cabin accident, and after only 9 days, 2 were rescued and 1 eventually died. And that was 2015. This is part of the case that we submitted to ADB, but they say, well, you are too late. But the accident happened in 2017, while the loan that they approved is still, let's say, in effect. This only shows that the ADB safeguards, particularly for workers and trade union rights, are all inadequate and antiquated.
सड़क कहीं और है और इनका गुड कंस्ट्रक्शन कहीं और है, ततीमा कहीं और है और कंपनसेट कहीं और जगह का कर दिया है। तो ये सारी जो प्रॉब्लम है, ये हम लगातार इनको पत्राचार के माध्यम से बताते आ रहे हैं, लेकिन हमारा दुर्भाग्य ये है कि इसकी सुनवाई कोई नहीं हो रही है।
State government estimated losses to the fisher community of more than $1.2 million. So this is significant sum for livelihood of fisher people. There is a precedence in this particular project itself, where along with the local communities taking help of the Building and Woodworkers International have approached on another huge amount of money which was owed to the workers who were involved in construction, and they have not been paid their money by the project implementers. And ADB seems to be washing off its responsibility on this issue also. So when ADB looks at the project in its entirety and not as pockets of addressing different issues, but understanding how a project which has been financed by it is causing a greater damage than the benefit that it was supposed to provide, I think it will change its own procedures and processes and strengthen them.